debate continues tonight. Should police officers wear those body cameras?
Now, in Grand Rapids, that decision is made by the city commission. But what does Police Chief David Rohinsky think about that? 24 News 8's Joe LaFergie asked him. Joe?
Yeah, Marley, and in just a few minutes, the chief is probably going to hear from a lot of the public. The NAACP, the local chapter, holding a special town meeting at the Baxter Center on Baxter Southeast. The chief expected to attend that. Our own Heather Walker is there right now. We'll hear from her in a few minutes. But earlier today, we did catch up with Chief David Rohinsky. He tells me that he is not against the idea of body cameras for his officers. His concern is over the possibility of unintended consequences. At a time when everyone, from community activists to top cops in cities large and small, seem to be jumping on the body cam bandwagon, Grand Rapids Police Chief David Rohinsky has yet to hop on board.
I think a rush to embrace the technology and get it out on the street before we have good policy in place would be putting the horse behind the cart.
Among Rohinsky's concerns, when does a camera worn by an officer violate someone's right to privacy or make a crime victim or witness hesitant to talk to an officer? The simple answer would be to turn it on or off, but Rohinsky says a more clear-cut policy needs to be put in place. You're not against cameras?
No, I'm not against cameras. I just want to have this thorough vetting before we move forward.
But beyond writing policy, just how much say will Rohinsky have about whether GRPD equips its officers with body cams? After last night's meeting brought out a large crowd supporting the use of body cameras, the City Commission has set a public hearing on their use for December 16th. Expect more public input beyond that meeting. The final decision will be up to the 7-member commission. There's a practical reason the commission would have to come up with the money needed to purchase the cameras. Are you concerned that that political pressure may override some of your concerns you just talked about?
I'm not. I just think it puts the onus on the police department to very quickly draft policy to get consensus internally in terms of what best practices would be.
Of course, another concern on the part of the chief is the cost and who's going to pick up the price of the cameras and the system to store all of that information gathered by officers. Rohinsky says departments across the country are trying to answer those same questions. Now, once again, the chief expected at that community meeting at the Baxter Community Center on Baxter Southeast that is getting underway right now. Our own Heather Walker is there. She'll have a live report coming up in a few minutes.